Canadians, Americans, members of the Commonwealth, and patriots the world over, welcome to the show that tells you what they won't, exposing the fake news, conspiracies, and corruption within institutions that govern our lives, and red-pilling the nations one fact at a time. It's Weathering the Storm with your host, Canada's Red Pill, Billy Joyce.
Hey folks, welcome to another show. I've been sick the last few days, stomach bug going around, and with my pre-existing medical condition, when you get a stomach bug, it is no fun. But here I am. Today I'm not going to talk to you about Ukraine. I'm going to talk to you about the Mass Casualty Commission that is going on in Nova Scotia regarding the worst mass shooting in Canadian history. We'll remember that on April 18th and 19th, 2020, Gabriel Wortman went on a rampage and killed 23 people. And of course, the mainstream media reports it as 22 people because one of the women that were killed was pregnant. And of course, the mainstream media, they acknowledge that there's life on Mars if they find a single cell organism, but a baby inside of a mother's womb, apparently that doesn't count as life in Nova Scotia. But I counted as life, and 23 people died April 18th and April 19th, 2020. And right from the get-go, unfortunately, the videos that I did on this topic back when it happened are no longer available on YouTube because my channel was pretty much deleted, and I'm starting anew on Rumble and BitChute. So again, if you'd like to support my work and encourage me to keep this up, I please ask you, if you can, of course, to kindly contribute either through PayPal or through e-transfer. It'll help me get more work done here. Then give me a little more motivation to keep doing what I'm doing. Eventually, I'd like to get out of the job I'm in, simply because I'm not a big fan of censorship. And the more I see coming down the line in Canada, the more I see that our free speech will be censored, especially on CRTC-controlled media outlets. So that being said, I also have a YouTube channel dedicated to strongman and arm wrestling, Wild Willie T's arm wrestling and strongman rants. If you want something to do to kind of let your brain relax once in a while, that's why I do that channel. I'm a fan of strongman and arm wrestling, and I do some commentary on it on that page. So if you want to go see that for some lighter content, feel free. Like I said, today I want to talk about the Mass Casualty Commission. You can go, the Mass Casualty Commission has their own website where you can go and listen to different testimony, look at different evidence that was put in. I want to bring your attention to testimony that was heard on May 31st. And in this Mass Casualty Commission, many of the RCMP officers, especially the higher ranking supervisors, sergeants, and commanders, they're getting what's called an accommodation where they don't have to testify in person. They testify via recording or via Zoom. And one of the people in charge on the night of April 18th was none other than Staff Seargent Andy O'Brien. And I'm not going to play the whole segment for you. You can go to the Mass Casualty Commission, look this up, and start playing it around the 31-minute mark. And you will see that Mr. O'Brien actually admits to consuming alcohol prior to getting the phone call that night that there was a mass shooting happening in his district, in the district that he commanded of the RCMP. Now, there's a gentleman by the name of Adam Rogers. He used to be a lawyer. He's been covering this extensively. You can go to his blog, adamrogers.ca. He's also got and of course on adamrogers.ca, you'll see that he's got all kinds of different options there. You can go to his YouTube page and you can see all the videos that he's posted on the Mass Casualty Commission. If you're not subscribed, I'd recommend subscribing to it. You can also go to a YouTube page called Little Gray Cells. It's a gentleman close to the Portapique area. He live streams the Mass Casualty Commission's proceedings and offers commentary during these proceedings. I've watched them a couple times. I can't watch the entire videos. I just don't have the time. But if it's something you guys want to go take a look at, feel free. In Adam Rogers, one of Adam Rogers' latest blog entries dated June 1st, 2022, the title says, Alcohol-Fueled Command Decisions. In video posted yesterday evening, retired Sergeant Andy O'Brien testified about his role in the response to the mass casualty events. Sergeant O'Brien oversaw operations for the Colchester County RCMP, but was off duty on April 18, 2020, when he was contacted about the initial reports out of Portapique. He has stated that he had 4 to 5 drinks of rum that night, and though he was initially reluctant to take on any role, he soon had a radio and was giving directions to officers on the scene from his home. In the same article, you'll read here where it says, Miss Mancini also gave Sergeant O'Brien, whom she called Mr. O'Brien, presumably and interestingly at his request, an open field to explain his alcohol consumption. He said all the right things about not feeling impaired, but also not wanting the perception of his consumption to become an issue. He had his wife drive him to the detachment to get his radio and then set himself up at his home with his radio and laptop to supervise and command. Rogers, who used to be a lawyer, says many judges take the amount of alcohol someone admits to consuming and double it to determine what they likely consumed. Cross-examination questions may have revealed more about that element, where Sergeant O'Brien could have been asked about what he was doing, who he was drinking with, and whether shots were being measured or free-poured. Now again, because he got this accommodation, and because it's not really a commission, it's not really an inquiry going on, it's basically, here's the RCMP's official story. The Mass Casualty Commission reads the official story. Mr. RCMP officer, do you agree that that's the official story? Yep. Check. Now here, we've got a staff sergeant who admits to drinking 4 to 5 shots of rum. I'm sorry, when you're at home, I know when I'm at home, I don't take out my shot glass to measure my drinks of rum. So if he had 4 or 5 drinks, let's say of rum, are those 1 ounce drinks? Are those 2 ounce drinks? Are they 3 ounce drinks? How big was the glass? Oh, that's right. We can't ask because we're not allowed to cross-examine. There have been several attempts, of course, by the media. When you go look at CBC, why a senior Mountie who'd been drinking on night of NS shootings says he jumped into action. And you can go read that article. Nowhere does the CBC get tough. Nowhere does the CBC compare drinking 4 or 5 drinks prior to commanding RCMP response to the greatest mass shooting in Canadian history. Nowhere do they say that that should be a crime, or that it's criminal, or that it was neglectful, or at the very least irresponsible. No. They're explaining why the senior Mountie who'd been drinking the night of decides that he's going to jump into action. There are other things that have come out in this Mass Casualty Commission. Another headline, 4 children whose parents were murdered in Nova Scotia shooting spent harrowing 2 hours on the phone with 911. Now, I don't know about the 2 hours, but I do know about at least 4 minutes. For those of you who don't know who Frank Magazine is or what Frank Magazine is, if you're not subscribed, I would suggest subscribing. I'm subscribed to them. And because I'm subscribed to them, I have access to the 911 calls that were released long before they were released in the Mass Casualty Commission. And when Frank Magazine did release these way back when, well, the people at Frank Magazine were lambasted. They were attacked in the media. They were attacked by the RCMP. And, oh my goodness, you shouldn't have access to these. No, because they didn't want us knowing what the hell was going on. And these 911 calls not only reveal the incompetence of the RCMP, but the incompetence of the 911 dispatchers. Listen to this. I'll let you listen to parts of this, or a little part of this. Again, it's one of the Blair's children calling 911 and opens up with, both my parents were just killed. There's a madman that just killed my parents and he's burning houses. And the 911 responder's like, oh, there's a fire. Now, again, this was after Jamie Blair, who was also executed by Wortman that night. She called right after her husband had been killed. She explained that there was a madman in a cop car that was shooting people. And she ended up dying. She ended up getting killed. And then the kids who had ran over to the neighbor's house, they called in. And I'll let you listen to part of that.
2 hours, 16 minutes, 30 seconds.
Oh my.
Hello?
There is a crazy man, and he's burning down his own garage. He came over to our house, killed both our parents, and are burning down our house.
Matt, where are you at right now? Do you know the address?
Yes, we're in.
So there's a madman burning down his own house. He came over to our house, killed our parents, now he's burning down our house. And the first response is, what's the address?
We are at our neighbor's house. In between, we are at, what's their address?
Are you in Portapique?
So the caller, are you in Portapique? So he knows.
Yes, Portapique.
Okay.
We could probably
Miss.
Okay, so here, Miss. So obviously he wasn't paying attention when the child said he killed my two parents.
Miss, I understand. We've already got calls in for this area there. You said there's a fire there now?
Said there's a fire there now? I just completely missed the fact that you said madman killed both my parents.
Yes,
Okay.
a huge fire.
Do you know which house you're at there in Portapique?
135 Orchard Beach Road.
135 Orchard Beach Road?
Orchard Beach Drive. So, you know
okay.
where Portapique Beach Drive is?
Yep.
I mean, Portapique Drive is?
Yeah.
Right in there, and then you take a left on the first one.
Okay, is that where the fire is?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, just stay on the phone for me, okay?
That's where we are.
Miss?
And the fire's right across.
The fire's across the street?
Yes.
So at 136?
Yes. 135 Orchard Beach Road.
That's where you're at right now.
Yes.
Okay, where is the fire at? Is it a street?
So again, here's this 911 operator. Portapique Beach Road or Orchard Beach Drive, they're tiny little roads in the middle of nowhere. If you go to 135 Portapique Beach Road and across the street is the fire, why the hell do you have to know the exact address? Why is this 911 call, the 911 dispatcher, worrying about what the exact civic address is? And and again, he hasn't asked yet. You said your parents were murdered? You said your parents were killed?
Yes, right across the street from us. Our house,
Okay.
and my little brother's house is 123 Orchard Beach Drive, right beside it.
123. Okay. And the fire's at 123?
He came in, he shot my father 10 times.
Okay.
My mom was calling, and he came in and he killed her.
Okay. Where is she at? Is she still in the house?
Where is she at? Is she still in the house?
She's dead in her room.
In her room. Okay.
She's dead in her room. And he says, in her room, okay.
And she is burning.
She's burning.
The house is on fire.
Okay. Where's the guy who did this?
We don't know. He pulled out of the driveway and left.
Did you see what kind of vehicle?
It was a police car.
It was a police car. Now, again, these calls happened the night of April 18th. Jamie Blair's son told the cops that he was driving a police car. Jamie Blair told them he was driving a police car. Andrew McDonald told them that he was driving a police car. But yet there was no warning sent out to the public. None. Zero. The Nova Scotia RCMP put out a tweet. How many people are following Nova Scotia RCMP's Twitter account? I doubt very many. But yet, here we are, the biggest mass shooting in Canadian history, and you got the 911 operators focusing on fires after a kid tells them that both their parents were assassinated, and they ignored 3 different 911 calls the night of the 18th saying that the guy was driving a police car. They sent out a bolo the next morning, be on the lookout whatever, to fellow RCMP members. Fellow RCMP officers were sending messages to their family members to let them know what was going on, but no one in the public knew. And then you go read that one of the commanding officers, this O'Brien fellow, Seargent O'Brien, admitted to having 4 to 5 drinks. And if what Adam Rogers is saying is true, according to court proceedings, when someone admits to having 4 to 5 drinks, chances are they had 8 to 10 drinks. And we still don't know if those were singles, doubles, or triples, but yet we had someone who admitted to drinking commanding RCMP officers that night. What would happen if you jumped into a car and ran over 23 people and killed them, and then admitted to having 4 to 5 shots of rum? What would happen? If the RCMP and 911 and everybody else involved had done their jobs the night of April 18th, I believe that everyone who was killed on April 19th would still be alive today. And I got to take my hat off to some of the first responders there that night, like Corporal Basselt. If you go read the police that actually arrived on scene, including Corporal Basselt, recognize what the hell was going on. They wanted someone to go there to take the kids out of that area. They wanted someone to advise the public. And all along, it's the supervisors that decided, no, we're not going to do that. I got to have a drink of rum. I'm having a drink of rum. The old black rum's got a hold on me. Again, the RCMP investigating the RCMP while retired staff sergeants collecting huge pensions, and present-day staff sergeants and present-day officers who just received a bunch of raises from the Trudeau government investigating themselves. What's it going to take for Canadians to wake up? What's it going to take for Canadians to realize that our institutions are there to protect themselves? The government's there to protect the police is there to protect the government, and we're left to be peons, modern-day slaves, modern-day subjects to Her Majesty the Queen and all of her officers, including our government officials and including the police. I'm done now.
If you enjoyed this video, you may want to take a look at other videos you find on this page. Don't forget, if you like it, push the subscribe button under this video, and feel free to like and share with all your friends. Follow me on Twitter by following the link on this page. If you want to interact, feel free to post a comment, but please, no obscenities. Thanks for watching. Billy Joyce signing off and reminding you that I'm here to help you weather the storm.